Hey guys, I hope everybody's doing good. Hope everybody's had a good week so far. I think everybody in here knows me, but in case there has been some new people, I am Morgan, and we are in the book of Hebrew. Now, we have discussed, Champagne and I is who I mean by we have discussed ways to make this Bible study group a little bit easier. Life happens. We are behind. I'm behind. I would have loved to already have this video done on the book of Hebrews and started on something else, but life happens. With that being said, I will not read word for word of Hebrews 1 through 8. I will just go over some highlighted points that I took away from Hebrew, but I do encourage each and every one of you to go back and read it for yourselves to see if you could take something different away, and feel more than free to post your own video. Or if you're not comfortable doing that, I understand. I'm not either. I could throw up right now knowing that all of y'all are going to see this, but it's okay. So with all that being said, let's hop right into it. I'm going to go into Hebrews chapter 2. I highlighted verse 5 because it stopped me in my tracks and I had to think about it for a second. I've read it and I've read it and I read it. But I do have it highlighted starting here, going through here. It is Hebrews chapter 2, verse 5. What is mankind that you are mindful of them? A son of man that you care for him. You made them a little lower than the angels. You crowned them with glory and honor and put everything under their feet. In putting everything under them, God left nothing that was not subject to them. And that's where I ended my highlighting. I will read a little bit further down because there is another key point in verse 9 that I love. So I'll just keep reading from 8 and go through and then discuss it. Yet, at present, we do not see everything subject to them. But we do see Jesus, who was made a little lower than the angels for a little while. I stopped there because I was like, wait a minute. I just read that we, as mankind, are placed a little lower than the angels. And God made Jesus human. You know, he sent Jesus down here as a human so he could identify personally with us. So that when we go through heartbreak, when we deal with temptation, anxiety, anger, depression, whatever the case may be, God sent Jesus down here as a man so that he could identify personally with those feelings as well. You know, we think of Jesus as holy and perfection and beautiful, and that he is all those things, but he was also one of us at one time. He was down here getting angry, sad, scared, hurt, you know, all the things. And just keep that in mind as you read, not just Hebrew, but every book of the Bible. Just keep that in mind that Jesus can identify, you know, with you in every situation. You know, you always hear, when your heart breaks, mine breaks too. And that's how Jesus feels for us as humans, because he knows that personally. He knows what it feels like. Down into verse 9, when it was saying that Jesus was made lower than the angels for a little while. So I'm going to skip down, you know, through 11, 12, 13. I highlighted 14 through 18, and this sticks with me all the time. And it goes back to what I was saying of Jesus was made a man, you know, so he can identify with us personally. This is where I really, really would love to focus on for a minute. I feel like I could preach a whole sermon on this verse alone. It says, since the children have flesh and blood, he too shared in their humanity, so that he, by his death, might break the power of him who holds the power of death, that is the devil, and free those who all of their lives were held in slavery by their fear and death. For surely it is not angels he helps, but Abraham's descendants. For this reason, he had to be made like them, fully human in every way, in order that he might become a merciful and faithful high priest in service to God. I'm a crier. I'm going to go ahead and let y'all know. Worship songs, reading, my voice is going to get shaky and I may have to stop. But, wow. You know, in my notes, this is just brief sections of notes. There is one that says, during your reading, what stopped you in your tracks? That is the very first thing I put down in my reading, was chapter 2, verses 14 through 18. Because, wow, you know, I've done a lot of bad things. And if you know me personally in here, you know a lot of my story, if not all of it. You've probably been there for some of it. And I'm not proud of what I've done, you know. And I always think to myself, how could I ever face a relationship with with God? How could I grow? How could I become more Christ-like with all this in my past, And then I read this and it just reminds me, hey, it's okay. Christ was made human too. And he knows what you were going through. And you gave in, Morgan. Yes, you did. But it is okay because you are born again. You have repented and you are on the right track now, But it really, really helped me to think, God sent his only son down here to be like me, to deal with pain and hurt and disappointment and all these other things. And so when I read this, it just really, really touches my heart to know that Christ knows exactly what I feel in the good times and the bad, So let's keep going. Okay. For this reason, he had to be made like them, fully human in every way, in order that he might become a merciful and faithful high priest in service to God, and that he might make atonement for the sins of the people. Because he himself suffered when he was tempted, he is able to help those who are being tempted. And if that doesn't speak for itself, it puts me in awe and it amazes me. Because he himself, Jesus Christ, suffered when he was tempted. He was able to help those who were being tempted. That's me. That's you. That's our kids. That's our friends. That's our family. It's good stuff. That's good stuff. All right, so that's all I've got for chapter 2. It's very brief, but that's what I took from it. I don't want to hold you up any longer than I have. I think we're running into about 10 minutes. So I will post this, let you guys see that, and I will get dug into continuing my reading through the rest of my chapters. I have already started, so don't fret. It will not be long. I've already got some highlighted points throughout. I just have not made the videos because I'm not fully sure what I want to say. So as we try this new approach to our group chat, we ask that you be patient with us. Follow along with us. That's great. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, please feel free to post them in the group. Reach out to someone individually, whatever makes you most comfortable. If you go through here and you read something and you're like, wow, Morgan didn't talk about this, or Champagne didn't talk about this, but I really like this, please post that. It doesn't have to be a video. You can text it out, just whatever you're comfortable with, Until next time, I love you. And please get into this so you can follow along with us. Happy hump day. You're almost to Friday.